I wanted to be a lawyer. So what happened? I read a book about it and decided I didn't want to do a bunch of legal writing. People think that you're in trial all day, but you're actually just writing a bunch of stuff.
Well, there's all kinds of stuff like that.
My friend, he's a criminal lawyer. He's
Right. Criminal lawyers don't do that. Or you could, lawyers work for big companies. I mean, there's all kinds of things.
So what we're doing, we're just getting on the same page. We don't got to be...
What would you like to do? What's your place? Somebody left a phone here.
I just set it down. There we go. Thank you, though. I'm glad that you noticed. If I don't put it somewhere I can see it, then I forget it. Here we go. So, you tell me where you guys stand. I'll tell you my interpretation. Oh, that's my bodyguard. Indiscreet. You tell me where you guys stand. I'll tell you my interpretation, and we can come to agreement without getting all fucking messy.
The main thing my client, would be interested in is getting some money from you. You stop paying. What happened?
I understand that.
Things were going okay, and then you stop paying. What happened? You lost your job or something? What happened?
So we'll get into that. I have a couple questions on. I entered into an agreement with your client under
A sublease.
Not really.
I have it with me.
Yeah, and I have that too. So we could just, and then after that, I'll just tell you why I did what I did, and I'm just trying to get everything correct.
Sure.
So I have the documents I have. Notice of petition, which brought me here.
Right.
Sublease agreement, which I don't think is valid. And then lead-based paint writer, which isn't even complete. October and November rent checks showing that I've been paying to the landlord directly. And partially completed bedbug history. The reason why I have the lead-based paint and the bedbug history is because they state me as a tenant.
It was what?
I consider myself a tenant, not a subtenant. That's because this sublease agreement isn't valid. You can't just take a legal document and then X out. I mean, you're a lawyer, not me, but she just X'd out where the subtenant was supposed to sign, and then she signed herself.
I know. She does things very informally.
Which is okay until you end up in court. And her informal mistakes can cause me to either lose a place or even possibly lose my freedom. So we have to do things right.
Let me back up. What I was saying in the beginning, I think the main thing that she'd be interested in would be getting the rent. If we could work out the rent, she'd probably be willing to give you like a regular lease. As soon as we get a release from this Edelweiss, the tenant, and then she would give you a lease.
So why,
if the money matters was settled.
Why did she do this and give me a fake sublet agreement?
I have no idea why it was done this way, but
I'll give you my opinion.
It's just a matter of form.
My opinion is that she thought she would have more legal rights this way than she would if she actually gave me.
She's not that sophisticated.
Then why am I in court right now for a holdover agreement as opposed to a
this thing
petition
expired.
for rent?
This expired, the other lease expired.
So why didn't she give
Yours
me...
expired January 15, I think.
Why didn't she give me a request of payment? If you just sat down with me and said all we want is the money, then why didn't you give me a request
I believe that's the main thing she wants.
Then give me a request of payment from a tenant.
Excuse me?
We're not inventing the law here. If she wanted the rent, she would give me a request of payment from the tenant. She didn't. She gave me a holdover petition because this is a faster eviction
That was
process.
my idea. When she called me up and told me about this, she wanted to just do a non-payment directly against you.
That's what I was
waiting
for.
I said, send me the lease.
Okay.
Send me the lease. So I'll
it sounds
do a
like a
non-payment.
confusion from the
so
beginning.
then when I look at the lease, it's not a lease. I say, Faye, there's a sublease. That the
Not
tenant
even a
is
correct
Edelweiss.
sublease either.
Right,
It's invalid.
It's peculiar.
So what happens? Yeah, that's a euphemism. So what happens when you don't have a lease between a landlord and a tenant, but the landlord's been paying the tenant, the tenant's been paying the landlord directly? What happens?
What's happening now?
No.
We're here in court.
But
That's what's happening.
What is my relationship to your client, the landlord, when we don't have a valid lease in place, but I've been paying her directly rent?
You're a subtenant, and you've agreed, and she's agreed that she's taking the money directly from
you. You
you.
don't have to advise me, so you don't have to tell me the truth. But as I understand it,
Yeah.
if we don't have a lease in place and I'm paying directly to the landlord, we have a month-to-month, and I'm a tenant. I'm a broker. I have my own brokerage in the city.
You're not a month-to-month tenant. You're a tenant pursuant to that agreement that you signed. It's a written agreement.
The peculiar one that might
And you'd
not
only be
legally
a
valid.
month-to-month tenant if the landlord received rent from you subsequent to the termination date. We can conference it with the judge's court attorney.
That's perfect. So that's where we're going to stop the conversation. Your position is that I am not a month-to-month tenant. My position is. And so I think that's where we're going to have the discussion in the court. And then everything else, so you say, we want money. I do want money too, but for a year now, I've had the wrong paperwork. I let it go for a year, but in November, I decided to wait for the right paperwork. You guys have refused to give it to me.
I don't know what happened in the past. And definitely, it is unusual. I was surprised when I said, send me the lease, and then I get a sublease, and I call her up, Faye, it's a sublease. I can't do a non-payment.
The victim in this seems to
and
be
I can do a
Faye.
holdover. I can resolve everything.
I paid a broker a month fee to get the apartment.
You paid a broker a month's fee?
And then Faye pays you to represent her interests, and none of you guys seems to be doing the right paperwork. So I think the victim here is the landlord because she could lose her building. Not from me, but from doing business like this. You don't think so?
She is not sophisticated, and
Okay. Well, from what I see, my options
what I'm
are...
here is to try to straighten things out.
You're doing a good job. So my options are, I could pay her and continue a lease in my name. I could start housing part proceedings to induce the landlord to make repairs to the building. Or I could start 7A proceedings to ask the court to take control of the building. Those are my three options.
What? You could do all those if you want to do those proceedings. I don't care. I'll make more money. It doesn't matter to me.
What we just stated is where
but
our
this
disagreement
case
right
here-
now. So where the conversation's stopping is that you consider me not a month-to-month tenant, I do, and so that's I think where we're gonna work that
No,
out.
you're definitely not a month-to-month tenant. A month-to-month tenant, firstly, if there was never any lease, that's one example of a month-to-month tenant. Never any written lease agreement.
And that's not what we have here.
No.
You're saying that the sublease is valid,
There's a piece of paper that you signed and the owner signed.
but if it's not a valid piece of paper, it's worthless.
It could be written on a piece of toilet paper. It could be written on a little piece of paper like this.
Who
It
is
would
this
be-
paper between? Myself and Ida, and Ida didn't sign this. Ida is not even in the country for the last year.
But it's, you signed it, and the owner signed it.
Yeah, but
So Tina.
what did we agree to? That's why this is written up as a contract. These names are supposed to be the names listed in the beginning. You're a lawyer, not me. This isn't a valid contract.
So going by your reasoning, then what my client did was she used the wrong form. But
So now
it
we're
doesn't
in a
matter.
month because I've been paying her directly, and now she needs to give me a
You're paying
non-payment
her
statement.
pursuant to that agreement.
That's not my case. If this was a sublet, the way that the sublet works, I would pay Eda, Ed would pay the landlord. Eda has to have a desire to come back to the apartment. So there's no I don't want to accuse your client or
Well,
whoever
I'm bringing the
represents
action against Edit also, if you noticed.
Well, I want to accuse your client or whoever represents your client of falsifying a document, but I believe that this sublet, personally, my opinion, was falsified, and someone represented Edda's interest to try to protect the landlord with another, I don't know what she thought, but it's not the right way. There's a reason why stuff...
Do you want to continue, let's go beyond this. Do you want to continue living there, or do you want to move out?
We have enough disagreements on the interpretations of the case, and you don't agree with me on factual, legal interpretation. I'm not a lawyer.
Forget the law.
I can't forget the law. This is my freedom.
The basic question is: do you want to continue living in this apartment, or are you ready, or you want to move out of the apartment? Well, you don't know.
It depends on how we resolve these issues. What if I'm dealing with a landlord who's not just incompetent or has incompetent counsel, but she's actually malicious? I might not want to continue the relationship.
She's the opposite of malicious.
I know. I've heard really good things about everyone who's
Faye is not malicious.
But that's why. So she's
a very, very nice person.
People are advising her poorly, and that's how we ended up in this situation. And all I'm doing is asserting my rights because I'm a broker and I know a little bit about them. Not as much as a lawyer, but a little bit out of hundreds of transactions in 5 years doing this in the city. So she wasn't doing things the right way, so we're slowing down to get them to do the
you've been
right
paying
way.
her? She's telling me she didn't get money from you.
Up till November. I did pay her the last 2 months of the agreement that I thought we had. And now I haven't received any request for non-payment. So that's what I was waiting for. If you had sent me that, I think we would
We could conference this. I got another case on the 5th floor that I did.
I don't have anything to do today, so I guess we sit here until we have to go in front of the judge. Or?
Yeah, we'll conference it. I'll be back. I'll be on the 5th floor, and I just got to take care of this other matter, and then I'll be back here. I'll try to get back here as soon as possible.
I'm not sure how these proceedings go. Do they just hold us all day? When are they going to call us up?
When I get back here, I'll request a conference, so we can conference with the judge's court attorney. And maybe he or she will have some other ideas.
I think right now we just have to clarify the whether I'm a month-to-month tenant or not, because that's going to tell us whether we proceed with a holdover or whether I deserve a non-payment petition. I don't mean to be a jerk.
Whoa! But the number is
I got a conference. Now we get another day. I'm going to conference the case. January 31, 2018. You should look at that lease. The lease was ended January 31 at $2,600 per month. January 31, 2000. That's when the lease ended. $2,600. I don't care. I just put the end. So I'll call you back. I gotta go. I gotta deal with another thing. I'll call you back. Bye-bye.
I was told that you're going to take me, last time we were here, you said that you were going to take me to court as a subtenant, and then I said I was an actual tenant, and that was where the disagreement was. We said, all right, let's postpone this to get a court date, and then this meeting was to set that court date in the future.
In any event,
I recorded it.
What I thought is good news for the tenant.
Okay.
But when I told him, he didn't seem too happy about it.
Yeah, because you're not a psychologist. Don't worry about my mood. If that's what you said, put it in writing, I'll review it. That's what I said. Put it in writing, I'll review it.
Why don't we just talk about it together? I'm here to mediate.
January 14th. We give him a renewal lease. He can pick a 1-year lease, a 2-year lease. Whatever the guideline increases are, we will give him a renewal lease. The rent, we give him time to pay whatever rent he owes. According to my client, the last time he hasn't paid since November.
Two months before renewal. 60 days before renewal.
So now she's admitting that he's there?
Not admitting, it's my mistake. She gave me, instead of using a lease, she gave him a lease using a sublease form.
Yeah.
Right. So that's
remember
why,
that.
right.
Oh, this is great news.
Right, it's good news. He's excited.
I said just put it in writing and I'll review it.
I put it in writing.
Yeah,
Exactly
okay.
right.
And once they put it in writing, then we can talk about it.
Exactly.
And go over any issues there may be with it, but that's exactly the opposite.
I have the printout. Here he is.
Exactly,
Look,
yeah.
He's registered. He's registered. Rent stabilized tenant. And the lease ran out the 14th of January. So we're going to give you a renewal lease. The increases are very modest, right? They're 1 or 2. I don't know what the guideline increases are currently. Do you know? But whatever they are.
But they're easy to look up.
Yeah. Whatever they are.
But yeah, since there was some
Very
confusion, I'm just tentatively, just we'll see what.
You don't have to sign until it's over
Exactly.
with you.
Yeah.
Fine.
So.
So I write up something?
Fine, we can all talk about it.
So I don't know what the next step is, but
How much time do you need to pay the arrears? That's what I'm wondering.
when we have everything in order, hopefully we resolve it shortly. So,
Write something up.
so do I get time to review it?
How much time do you need to pay?
Well, I just want to talk to someone about that document.
It's not going to play time.
Well, no, my own counsel. My own counsel. We need a break so I can discuss it. We're going to do things the right way, and if this is the right way, it's just... Okay. Well, but he doesn't have my best interest. I need someone with my best interest just to make sure I'm doing the right thing, that's all. I know
Is this amount correct? 5 months. December through April.
if we count them all, November, December, January, February, March, we have to add April to there. Okay.
Oh, you
6.
paid November, right?
I haven't paid since this all started. November, December, January, February, March, April, 6.
You think you owe 6 months?
Yeah, I do owe 6 months. Count them.
I forgot 5 months.
Yeah, see, so I would have caught that too. Yeah, no, you're not dealing. We're going to just do things the right way, that's all. So we'll figure it out. It just might take one more meeting, It does matter because if it's the wrong paperwork and you want to kick me out, with the paperwork you had, it would have been easier to kick me out. So I would have been giving up some of my
Forget
rights.
about, I don't, why I have to kick you out. You pay and you stay.
I didn't have a lease before. Now it sounds like I might have a lease. So this
No,
sounds
this
like
is
a better,
different.
yeah, this sounds like,
Sublease is sublease, but the thing is you have to pay your rent.
I do.
What?
But I did for a whole year.
I
But at
know
the end of the year, I just thought, why don't I get a lease? Why don't you send me a lease renewal or something? You didn't send me anything.
In January.
But you didn't send me anything. You didn't send me a renewal. You didn't send me...
No.
I was waiting for something. I was waiting
You
for...
live in the apartment, you must pay your rent. Simple thing.
But not without a document. I pay my rent, but with a lease and with documentation. If I pay you without documentation, I have no right. You just admitted now it's a rent stabilized... No.
But I can give you a lease, this is no problem.
Why do I have to go and do all this for 6 months just to get a lease?
Do you have
not
the
worth
money
my
to pay
time.
your rent?
Put it in writing and I'll review it. You wasted my time for a half a year because you didn't do business the right way. And I'm sorry you didn't get your money because you deserve your money. There's...
This is the responsibility. Rent, we pay taxes, we pay this, we pay that. We pay
I have a
mortgage.
business, I know.
What is your business?
It's in the village. I have a real estate company. I'm a broker. I have my own company.
Where in village?
I have an address on 7th Avenue. It's a small little business.
7th Avenue, real estate?
I don't have a storefront. I have a mailing address and I have clients. And that's how I survive. Yeah. Because I do business the right way. I don't do business like this, or else I wouldn't have a business.
Feel told me you're a good man. Feel, come on.
Yeah, everyone at the company knows me.
Pay your rent.
Exactly.
But I think it's 6 months.
Phil didn't do business the right way either. I let it go for a year, but the paperwork was all bad. It's not okay for you, because this is your liability. You shouldn't be here
You
either.
can stay in the apartment. You pay your responsibility.
I understand. You just want your money. If I pay your money, it'll be fine.
Sign this, okay?
Then can I take this to review?
No.
Yeah, it's this guy. No, I'm not a lawyer. I know what I know and what I don't know. So I have to given to me by people who lied to me before. Not you. I'm not blaming you, but your counsel has lied to my face. So anything he gives me, I'm gonna. I have him on tape lying to me. I have him on tape saying that he doesn't care if we go to court because he'll just make more money. I'm going to take this to a lawyer. Can I take it to a lawyer? Okay. Whatever you guys want me to do, mail the apartment.
Your responsibility, you can always use this number. If you don't pay them,
I know. That upsets you, and I get upset when people lie to me. So we're both upset.
Nobody likes you. You don't feel it's a good man. Likes
Is he? Is he a good man?
We like
He didn't do paperwork the right way. He exposed you to liability by. He had me fill out the paperwork, and it was all filled out wrong.
You have the apartment. You live there.
If Phil did the right thing by you, you wouldn't have to come down to court. So the fact that you have to come down to court means Phil messed up and this guy messed up. If the paperwork was right, we wouldn't even have an issue.
You have the rent money.
Mail me a request. Mail me a request. Just mail me what you want.
I'm not blaming. I like people, but
He doesn't know how to.
you live in the apartment.
Do you ever pay anything without a receipt? I always get a receipt when I pay, right? To proof. So that's how this is. But I get the receipt before I pay is how this works. You have to send a request and then.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You take your responsibility because you don't pay. Whatever they say.
Because with these things you have to go step by step, or else I might
You're 6 months.
get in trouble.
You can't take that long.
You should have sent me a request to pay a while ago. You should have sent me after the first month or the second month. You should have sent me a request. Look at Shaz, pay.
If I owe money, I owe.
I'll talk to you later. I gotta go to the Supreme Court on the 12th floor.
We finish from here now?
6 months rent.
Yeah.
I'll do a non-payment. That's what you want.
Just mail me a request.
Okay.
You still have to mail a request for payment. It's the law. It's my right. I know my rights.
So you made a personal demand?
In writing.
Rent?
Verbal
November
doesn't
through
hold
April? You don't pay it? She'll give you 3 days to pay. You don't pay in 3 days?
My right is I get it in
I'll do it
writing.
now. I'm paying right away.
Okay.
You have to pay right away.
Just send a document and I'll.
You want to talk to me, or should I just tell him to put it up before the court attorney?
What are we going to talk about?
Making arrangements for payment of the rent.
I had a couple questions for them, for the court attorney, I guess, before we do that. Yeah. SHAZZBARBARIC.
Okay, my name is Holly, I'm a court attorney. Have the two of you spoken yet?
Today, not much, no, but we've had previous encounters.
Okay, how much is the landlord alleged? We're just going to promise to discuss the case. How much is the landlord alleged to owe?
7 months, $2,600 a month.
What's the full amount you're alleging?
Comes to $18,200.
And how much you say the rent was? $2,600 a month?
$2,600. There was a prior holdover that was discontinued without prejudice.
And this includes May?
Includes May.
Tell me if you agree on the number, including this month, based on $2,600, you know,
So
monthly rent.
November through May.
November through May. Okay, and the holdover happened, was it last year? How recently was that?
A couple of months ago.
Oh, recently?
Last month.
Okay,
I just continued last month.
okay. So November 2017 through May of 18.
Well, the math is right, but what they call a holdover was an illusory tenant. So what they did is they tried to evict me under an illusory tenant.
That was discontinued.
I discontinued.
Yeah, discontinued.
It was,
So
I started
this
the
is
wrong
just about the
case.
rent, not even about that issue. So my
We
question is,
called it a holdover tenant, but that wasn't correct. It was an illusory tenant.
okay,
And now I believe today is the date that we request a date to go to court, or no?
so you're
Okay.
in court right now, so that's what I'm
What is the
complimenting
purpose of today?
it. See whether you can come to
So I have to drop this back.
You said you do agree on the number or no?
But I think y'all.
Well, the math, that's
Sticker, so we
2,600
do a
times 7.
record. Okay, thank
At
you.
this point, I was told I should ask the city to inspect the apartment in case perhaps I would like to claim that I'm holding that money to induce the landlord to make repairs on the apartment.
You've asked for repairs that were not done? Is that what happened?
Not yet. Before I do that, I think I have to ask the city to inspect the apartment.
It's up to you. You don't have to. If you want to, you can. You can just ask them to do the repairs, make a disagreement. It's really your fault.
It might be detrimental to my health, the apartment, so I should probably get the city to inspect it, yeah.
You have an inspection? I have an inspection board.
He basically just stated he's never asked the landlord, so all I gotta do is list the conditions, let the landlord go in and make the repairs.
Well, just to get everyone on the same page, I've been living there a year and a half about now. I never had a real lease or any of my real legal rights. We're just trying to catch everything up to the normal standard that is in New York.
You have a real lease and you registered with
Now,
the
because
DHR.
we went to court, but before that they wouldn't give it to me. So,
Now you have the lease, you have the numbers, you said the numbers right.
and now we just gotta make sure the apartment's right too, because they haven't put any effort into it either. It looks like the character of the landlord. They don't repair the apartments or do the right paperwork. So I'm just catching everything up since I've been brokerage.
You agree with not appeal this application. So this is the first time.
I really think he's just looking for stall.
So do you want me to put it up as his application? Sure. Okay, I'll put it up to the judge. I'll let him know that you want the inspection, okay? Have a seat, I'll put it up.
Charles Small, attorney for the petitioner, Fotini Theoharidou.
SHAZZBARBARIC.
And you're on apartment 13 at 15 Congress.
Yes.
Part of your conference is there's a number of defenses being raised. Including conditions that exist in the apartment that need to be repaired.
So, Judge, we were conferencing the case. The respondent, for the first time, he told your court attorney this is the first time that he's making a request for repairs. He's never told my client. He acknowledges this. So my suggestion is, why can't he give us a list of the conditions that he wants repaired and will inspect and repair? Why do we have to have a court inspection when we've never even had a request to the landlord?
What I would suggest that the parties do is set up dates, 2 weeks from now, consecutive dates. Petitioner will go in and correct all of the conditions, and then you'll have the inspector go out after the access dates to make sure that all the work has been completed. If the inspector finds that there are any violations, the court will have a report back on that on the next point.
So our next action is to have an inspection come out, or what's the next action that we're deciding to do?
You're asking for an inspection for the property, correct? So I would suggest just start an agreement adjourning the case for the inspection to take place. I'm going to suggest the inspection take place after access dates that the parties agree to. If the landlord to go in and correct the violations, and then the inspector, the purpose of the inspection would be to verify whether or not those conditions have been removed.
That doesn't make sense. We need.
Well, it makes sense to me, sir.
Go.
If you don't want an inspection, I can also send this out for trial right now.
Have I irritated you somehow? You've changed your mood? Did I say something wrong? I don't understand.
Do the parties, are you ready for trial today?
No, I don't have my client here. This is the first time on.
And is there any dispute about the amount of rent that's owed?
No, there's no dispute. We conferenced it. It's right now, we have 7 months, November through May, $2,600 a month. It's a rent stabilized apartment. The total is $18,200.
That is not disputed, is that correct? Have you withheld all of this money because of the conditions?
I don't think there's good faith between us right now. I'm not sure how to answer right now.
This is a conference to see if the matter can be resolved. If you don't wish to participate in the conference, the court's not going to be able to assist the parties in working out a settlement proceeding.
Whatever you say, just whatever is expected of me, that's what I'm here for. So.
Can we get a trial date?
The question that the court raised before, and willing to provide access to the petitioner so they can go and correct the conditions, have an inspector come after that date, and then the case will be prepared.
No, that is not what I requested. I requested that the court come and inspect the apartment before they get access to it so we can establish what's wrong with the apartment before the landlord goes in with more of their stuff that they do. They haven't been honest from the very beginning, so I'd rather get everyone on the same page before letting access go in there.
Judge, earlier he
You haven't
admitted.
notified the landlord of the conditions. They haven't
No,
notified you.
we've only recently admitted that I have a rent-controlled apartment. They had an illusory tenant. At first, they were trying to evict me under an illusory tenant. They haven't been,
Did you have a prior case?
There was
with
a
the
prior
landlord?
case.
yeah, they haven't been honest or forthright the whole
Index
time.
number of that.
So I'm just going very slowly but surely.
I discontinued it. I have it here. It was my fault because my client, there was a sublease agreement between the two of them, so I started a holdover believing that it was a deregulated apartment. I'll give you the index number. But I discontinued it without prejudice once I learned it was a rent-stabilized apartment. The index number.
I'm just a little cautious of this, and I'm going very slowly while we go through this.
55638 of 2018.
So that was discontinued.
Without prejudice.
Commencement.
We conferenced it. He claimed that he was not a subtenant, but that he was the real tenant. And that I checked with my client. I learned that I thought it was a deregulated apartment. I told her to get me the certified copies of the DHCR records, which she got. I have them here. And it's registered $2,600 a month. He's got a lease. The lease ended January 14, 2018. Lease ended January 14, 2018.
I don't want to accuse your client or
Well,
whoever
I'm bringing the
represents.
action against that also, if you noticed.
Well, I don't want to accuse your client or whoever represents your client of falsifying a document, but I believe that this sublet, personally, my opinion, was falsified.
Got a lease. The lease ended January 14, 2018. It's a registered apartment. I discontinued that case. I was hoping during that case if he would just make an agreement to
I never had a
give him a
lease.
lease and we'd make arrangements to pay the rent. He didn't want to do that. So I discontinued and started non-payment. In my opinion, he's made his intentions very clear to me that he just wants to delay. I don't think he wants to pay the landlord. I think
When did I make those intentions to you?
whenever we talk,
I have our conversations.
Can you pay 1 month of use and occupancy to the petitioner, and then I'll let you order inspection and adjourn the case and file.
I'm learning as I go. Is that what's necessary for the inspection?
I'm asking you a question, sir.
Until we have the right paperwork and we have a documented account of what the state of the apartment is in, I don't feel comfortable giving any money to the landlord based on how they've interacted with me. Judge, if I could ask you a quick question. The way I see it, the city inspects the apartment, we find out what repairs might have to be done per violations, and then they do those, and then my money would go towards those repairs after all that's done. That's how I see the timeline going based on my understanding
So
of
you
it.
contact HPD and request an inspection, but I'm not ordering an inspection here. Cases are adjourned for trial on June 20th, 9:30 a.m.
And at trial is when I would ask for the inspection, or?
Sir, did you hear what I just said? You can contact HPD directly and request an inspection.
Oh, okay.
I would also suggest that you go to the Health Center in room 104 to get some advice on how to proceed with the case. Defend yourself here.
That sounds good.
Good luck.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Get out.
Get out of
Yeah.
the apartment.
Yep.
Oh, you come to talk to me, Fatini?
No. Conversation's over.
Right, she didn't.
So when you don't answer the door,
Of course.
right? Now you gotta go. Now there's no more talking. Yep. So please stand up. Please step outside. Thank you.
You never gave me a lease, Fatini. You told me you were going to give me a lease. You said you registered me as a rent-stabilized tenant, and you're going to offer me a lease. You didn't do that, did you?
We were in court.
Time to
People
talk.
We
must-
were in court.
Time to talk was when we were knocking on the
9
door.
months ago, you 8 months ago now.
Yeah, you never gave me a lease, did you?
I don't understand what you're talking about.
You didn't. No, I have it. I have the documents. You gave me an illegal sublet. You signed the sublet
We were
under
in
someone
court
else's
and
name.
You couldn't see the judge.
Oh, because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. You got a lawyer, right? So I get you.
I don't know.
I packed my shit. You could be a criminal. I don't give a fuck. I mean, look at this building. How do you take care of this building? How much did this building cost?
We need a 2 bed.
How much did this? No, dude, that's not me. You haven't even been in this apartment for how long? I didn't do this.
Don't talk to me. Speak
Okay.
to master.
You're lying.
Or to judges.
Okay, you said I built this? I came into this apartment and you haven't put any money into the building, that's why it's shit. But, I mean, I told your lawyer at the beginning, you're gonna lose the building if you don't take care of your property, and you're not taking care of it.
Okay, sir. You have a good day.
Oh, that's nice, thank you. Who do you work for, man? You work for the people who own the buildings, or you work for the people? The people who own the buildings, right? So why the fuck are you talking to me? Fucking paying you well. You're a big guy. Afford all that food, right? Oh my gosh. We choke on the life that we live. Well, Tina, you're gonna lose this building the way you're acting. I don't know what. Disculpe por la basura.
Otra cosa, eso lo dice, llévatelo, no. Oye, no.
¿Qué?
No, son que están ahí en el frente tuyo.
No necesito nada.
No, no, están en el piso. No, déjalo pasar, porque te puede meter problemas. Déjalo pasar. Te puede seguir, se va a enojar el hombre.
It's okay, I got another one. Don't worry about it. Come.
Causes and events leading up to our entry into the war. Well, what are the causes? Why are we Americans on the mark?
Con niños que